Good morning, boys and girls. Today is Wednesday, the 3rd of February 2021. First up, senior infants, we are going to correct yesterday's phonics, so please open up your Just Phonics book on page 71. This word was a golfer, so give it a tick if you matched it to this picture. This number is the number 6. Toaster, this is the picture of the toaster. Shiver, the boy is shivering because he is so cold. Duster, you'll dust away the cobwebs up in the corners of the walls. And river, the River Shannon is in Limerick. Here I had er, 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 and this word was number. Tall b, and my special friend Here I know my special friend is at the end, and I have a small letter and two tall letters, which is after. Tall f and tall t. This was a picture of a mixer. The man, his job is a painter. This is showing the season, winter. And remember, you should have given yourself a smiley face, fine face, or sad face. Well done, boys and girls. Today, boys and girls, you are doing your phonics in your Over the Moon book. So open it up on page 71, please. Activity A, you have to ring the pictures that have the sound and cross out the ones that don't. So here you saw this word in your Just Phonics. It's a picture of a hanger. Hanger. It has the sound. When you've done activity A, you move on to activity B. You trace all your special friends. Read the word out loud and match it to its picture. Fast, faster. I can see this boy at the front is running faster than the other children. Then you move on to activity C. You look at the picture and think, what word is it? Well, this is a river. You sound it out, sound by sound, and spell it. Riv. Riv. That was the first part of my word. Next part, That's my special friend. Finally, in activity D, you underline all of your special friends and read the paragraph out loud. Remember to write today's date, the 3rd of February, up on top. The 3rd day of the 2nd month, 3.2. Best of luck, boys and girls. Now, boys and girls, we are going to correct last night's homework. Your first spelling was yard, Y-A-R-D. Next was keep, K-E-E-P. Next spelling was car, R-C-A-R. Next spelling was alarm, A-L, arm, A-L-A-R-M, A-R-M, sorry. Alarm. 2 syllables in that word. Next spelling was mixer, M-I-X-E-R. And finally, A-R-M, arm. Now get your super speller fists ready for your spellings tonight. Ev, ever, ever. And they lived happily ever after. Next word, after, after. Again, they lived happily ever after. Both of those words are actually adverbs because they tell you how something was done. So you could color them orange. After is also a preposition. He ran after the boy, or you could say he put the toy after the box. It can be a preposition and an adverb. So you could color it half green and half orange. I don't have any orange, that's why I'm not coloring them in, but I have the green, so I colored it half green there. Next spelling, the is making the long U sound, so super. You did super. It's an adjective, so color it blue, please. And finally, mixer. He put the pancake mix in the mixer. It's a thing, so it's a noun. Color it yellow, please. And finally, you have to break up this sentence that has no finger spaces and write it correctly with your capital letter, finger spaces, neat writing and full stop. Best of luck, boys and girls. Send a photo when you're done. Next up, boys and girls, it's time to sit back, relax and listen to your book, The Grizzly Bear Who Lost His Grrr by Rob Biddulph. And this time when you're done, I want you to sequence and retell the story in your own words following the story mountain. I want you to start your story parts using super sentence starters. So for example, once upon a time, one day, unfortunately, luckily, finally. So once upon a time, there lived a bear called Fred who was very competitive. He lived alone in the woods and every year he competed in a contest. So that is an example of how you set the setting. Remember, send a recording of you retelling the story in your own words if you want, and if you just want to do it without recording, that's totally fine too. I hope you've enjoyed reading this book this week. Anew, we are revising our co-raw phrase, what am I doing? Cad atá siúl agam. Repeat after me. Cad atá siúl agam. Your turn. Tá mé ag scríobh. I'm writing. Pretend to be writing as you listen to me, boys and girls. Tá mé ag scríobh. Repeat after me. Tá mé ag scríobh. Your turn. Tá mé ag léamh. Repeat after me. Tá mé ag léamh. Your turn. Tá mé ag canna. Repeat after me. Tá mé ag canna. Your turn. So senior infants, I want you to practice saying these sentences, and first class, I want you to practice reading them. Tá mé ag scríobh, tá mé ag léamh, tá mé ag canna. On sin, you can play your game cad atá siúl agam. Buin tanna bás bucalaí agus cálíní. Just a reminder, boys and girls, for your science this week, I want you to be listening and watching the story all about Drippy and the water cycle, and be learning the sequence of the water cycle: evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. Evaporation is when the water heats up, turns to gas, and rises up high in the sky. Condensation is when the gas gets colder the higher it gets up in the sky. It turns into water droplets that all join together to make clouds. Precipitation is when these water droplets are all joined together that they become so heavy they burst into raindrops that fall from the sky. Finally, collection. All these raindrops have fallen to the ground and find their way back to lakes, rivers, and oceans. Lakes we have that are local to us are Lough Gur. Have you ever been to the lake Lough Gur? Or rivers like the River Shannon that we can see in town. Have you ever been to the River Shannon? Or oceans like the Atlantic Ocean, that's the nearest ocean to us. Have you ever flown over the Atlantic Ocean? Now, boys and girls, it's time for our mental maths counting in twos. Senior infants and first class, let's get ready to count in twos nice and quick. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. Next, boys and girls, in first class, we're going to be learning our 2 times tables: 7 multiplied by 2, 8 multiplied by 2, and 9 multiplied by 2. We are going to use our fingers to help us count in twos and do our multiplication. So let's start with 7. Everybody put 7 fingers up. We're going to use these to count in 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 2 multiplied by 7 is 14. Now let's check if I do my jumps in twos that I land on 14. I'm doing how many jumps in twos? 7 jumps. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now let's check. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 jumps, and I landed on 14. Yes, that proves 7 multiplied by 2 equals 14. Next up, boys and girls, 8 multiplied by 2. Put up 8 fingers, everybody. Let's use our 8 fingers to count up in twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. 8 multiplied by 2 is 16. Let's check if I do 8 jumps of 2 that I land on 16 just to prove it. Well, here I've already done 7 jumps, so I just need 1 more jump to make 8. And yes, when I jumped in twos, I landed on 16. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. 8 multiplied by 2 equals 16. And now 9 multiplied by 2. Put up 9 fingers, boys and girls. Let's use these fingers to count in twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. 9 multiplied by 2 equals 18. And let's do our jumps just to prove it. I have 8 jumps. I'm doing one more jump of 2. 1, 2, sorry, and I land on 18. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. 9 multiplied by 2 equals 18. So we've 2 strategies there, boys and girls, in first class to help us multiply. You can use your fingers to count up in twos, and you can use a number line to help you count up in twos. Next up, boys and girls, it's time for our hands-on maths activity. Today we're going to be exploring how much do different containers hold. We're going to be sorting them into sets that hold more than 1 litre, sets that hold less than 1 litre, and sets that hold about the same as 1 litre. So, for this investigation, boys and girls, you're going to need different containers. You're going to need at least one that you think is smaller than a litre, one that you think is the same as a litre, and one that you think is more than a litre. So you're going to need at least one of each, but you can do more if you'd like. You're also going to need one container that you know for sure holds 1 litre. Now our safety tip is that we need to be careful of spillages because again we're pouring liquids here, so it's recommended to do it over the sink or in a basin, or like Aisling and Dara who did it outside. Very clever, very minimal spillages inside then. Your method, your steps to follow are: first, you're going to fill your litre container with water. Now this is the container that you know for sure holds 1 litre. You fill it with water until it's full. Then you take one of the containers that you're investigating and you pour the water from your litre container into it. You have to watch and observe what happens. If the container that you poured into fills up and there is still water left in the litre bottle, well then you know the container holds less than a litre. If when you pour in the water from the litre container it fills up and there's nothing left in the litre container, well then it holds about the same as 1 litre. And if when you pour the water from the litre container it doesn't fill up but there's no water left in the litre container, well then you know the container holds more than a litre. Repeat these steps 1 to 3 with your different containers. I want you to write or send a photo of your results and sorting your containers into sets of less than a litre, and more than a litre. You can send a video in too if you'd like to explain your predictions and compare them with your results. Can't wait to see it, boys and girls. Enjoy! Yesterday, boys and girls, we discussed 2 rules to keep safe on the internet. 1, keep your password safe, and 2, know what you can share. Don't overshare personal information. Today we're going to look at 3 and 4. Number 3, be careful of what you post. When you post something online, You can never take it back, boys and girls. Even if you try to delete it afterwards once you realize it's not a good idea, it's still on the internet. Anybody could have taken a screen grab or a screenshot and passed it around. So really be careful of what you post. There's a nice rule about think if your granny would like it if you posted that. Remember, just as if we're in person or in the yard, it's never nice to say mean things. But when you say mean things online, it's the same, but actually a bit worse, because it can be passed around again and again and again, and it's never ever properly deleted. So be very careful about what you post. And also, it's kind of linked to rule 2. Be careful if you're taking a photo and putting it up as a profile picture, and you say taking it outside your house. Well, be careful that your house number can't be seen, because then anybody who ever looks at a profile picture of you, even if they're not your friend, they'll know what house you live in. So just be careful about what you post online. Number 4, keep it online for friends you don't know. I know a lot of us play games with people we don't know online, but you should only ever play with them online. And if they ever ask you to meet up with them in person, you should not, because this person, even though you might have talked to them online, they're still a stranger. So you shouldn't go trying to meet up with them if they ask you to in person. And I'd actually go a step further, because of the age you are in senior infants and first class. I would say you shouldn't be playing online with anybody you don't know or haven't met in person. Okay? Well done, boys and girls, to those who have sent me in some lovely art already. It's fab, and I can't wait to see some more of your entries that we can put together for our video at Friday. Thanks, boys and girls.